Hi, welcome to AFTV. We are back. We're on UK soil for the next game. Arsenal will be playing on Wednesday against Monaco. Emirates Cup, 6 p.m. kickoff at the beautiful Emirates Stadium. We're standing in front of the new statue. James, how you feeling being back on UK soil and
Good.
on the new statue?
Good to be back. The stage is amazing. Statue's amazing. They did a good job with it. And yeah, I'm excited to see Arsenal play football at the Emirates again.
Yeah. Turkish, how you feeling? We're back, bro. Emirates Cup this Wednesday. What's that? What's that?
I'm excited. It's the last pre-season game. I wanna see a strong lineup. We've got Man City in the Community Shield next. I don't care too much about the Community Shield either, but it is a team that I expect us to go toe to toe with again next season. So it'd be nice to get off with a winning start against them. That's for sure. Especially when you look at the performances against them last season. But here I am talking more about Man City than Monaco, because with this game, it's just the last one before the season starts for me, and it's Monaco. They're not the Monaco of maybe 5 years ago.
Yep.
So I just expect them similar to last year against Sevilla, a comfortable victory, a strong lineup, get the minutes in those legs, and then we move on to City.
Come on, Turkish. This is our first shot of silverware, mate.
Yes.
And then it could be 2 trophies in a week.
Imagine 2 trophies in it. That sounds nice.
What would you call what's not the quadruple but the 6? Sextuple?
I think you're talking to the wrong man here.
Okay. Last night in the comments.
This thing here.
We are having a bit of banter there on that, but Arsenal are going for their 7th.
Speak for yourself.
This is the James we saw on tour, the Witty James. I love it.
I've heard they're closing off some of the roads for the open top bus parade on Thursday, just in case
No,
we lift it.
James will be there.
James will be-
Can I say one thing? Okay, all jokes aside, I used to really like what the old Emirates Cup was. Don't get me wrong, I get it obviously with the Community Shield, they've had to make this a midweek thing. I also like last year where the women's played and then the men's, was it straight after or the day after? I can't remember. But I used to really like when 4 teams would come, you'd play 2 of the other 3, and then there was a point per goal you scored. And I think there was one year, I think it was Sevilla, they won both their games. We only won one of them because we scored a load of goals. We actually ended up winning the whole thing.
And James celebrated.
He was there.
Yeah.
You know when he prepares for a final, he has a house set up. He was all there with the family.
Yeah. A couple of bottles of champagne. Yeah, I've been laughing at Sevilla ever since.
All right, let's actually look at it, because obviously, Arsenal, like I said before, they're going for their 7th Emirates Cup.
Bro.
It's a big achievement if they get us some. We've got 6 so far in the bank.
No clubs ever won it more.
That's how you said it. That's why it's pissed me off. He said we're going for our 7th Emirates Cup.
We're closing in on Federer's Wimbledon talent here.
It's a big achievement for the boys. No, but I was actually going to look at Monaco a little bit.
Please do.
Anyway, sorry, I've lost all composure on this one. They lost. Monaco lost to Genoa 2-0. They also lost to Bologna as well. I believe it's 3-2.
So they've done a little tour of Italy, have they?
Well, they played Leeds before that, so
right.
So they beat Leeds actually. They beat Leeds. So
It's not quite Rome.
the form's a bit hit and miss. But Arsenal, obviously off the back of our pre-season tour, looking firing. The last game was against Barcelona. We dealt with them. Obviously, they won La Liga, and we looked good. There were still a few little mistakes in there, but we do look like we're sharp and Arteta's working out. What are you expecting to see come Wednesday? What you want to see?
Do you know the spanner in this is the fact that the Community Shield is on Sunday, and I think Arteta will want to take that seriously.
Mm-hmm.
So my expectations are a somewhat full-strength team, because they won't have played since Barcelona a week before. I don't think he'll want to heavily rotate and then put the first 11 out for City. They might feel a little undercooked in that sense. So they'll go full strength, but I think on 60 minutes, wholesale changes.
Okay.
And I think he will get a completely different 11 out for the majority of that second half to the first half, but he'll want to build a little bit of momentum. I just think we laugh at the Community Shield. I always say this. I know we'll do a full preview on it later in the week. We laugh at it, but the managers, for whatever reason, they take it very seriously. So do the players. Again, varies extreme, but they do want to win it. When they're in it, like, they really do care about it. They do celebrate it properly, and they do give largely their all on the pitch. And yes, sometimes players are still coming back late from World Cups, or you might see a few changes here and there, but generally it's taken pretty seriously by them. So I imagine Arteta will have the Community Shield in mind. He's won it already once before. I think he'll want to win it again. So I think we'll see something that is close to full strength with a few tweaks, and wholesale changes early in that second half.
Definitely. And my apologies, they beat Bologna 3-2. And Turkish, I need to ask you the same sort of question. You see, James did mention, I think Mikel Arteta as well, recently he's gone for every competition he's taken very serious. You see, Pep's done it with Man City a lot of the time. I feel like Mikel Arteta.
Yes and no. He's also alternated a bit too much for me in previous.
Who? Pep or
Arteta. Like going to the Etihad and rotating when we had a bit of a break. Yeah,
FA Cup
so
sometimes, but
I think it annoys him when he goes out, but he's not always putting out 11s that suggest he's like desperate to win or prioritise it as much as something else. But yeah. So I tried to come in.
No, as what you're expecting to see in this prestigious trophy that we're gonna be playing in, the Emirates Cup. Like I said, the 7th one that we're going for. What are you expecting to see?
When you said Arteta takes competition seriously, I thought in my head, did I just log off for a second? You men are talking about another competition. Are you talking about Emirates Cup?
Bro, because you send the players and players.
I thought you were talking about the community shield.
And
No, you said they're taking the trophy serious. Yeah, the
you're talking about Emirates Cup because he was talking about Community Shield.
Yeah.
And even he's wrong, but you'd take the light if you're talking about Emirates Cup. But listen,
No, it's not like I'm going to shoot.
I'm not even saying Arteta doesn't take it serious because he takes every pre-season game serious. I believe you saw that against United, the performance we put led to all of the players there half an hour, 45 minutes after the game, doing a warm down / training session. So he cares. It means a lot to him, and it's about preparation for the season. So he definitely cares, but it is, a throwaway game. It is one to maybe test something in.
Yeah.
It is one maybe to bring some minutes to legs that haven't got any in the last. I mean, Zinchenko's apparently playing on the weekend in this Ukraine game, so I'd assume that maybe he plays some part in this one. He hasn't.
Oh, I didn't know. Yeah, I didn't know he was gonna. I didn't know he was.
Well, apparently he is. Anyway, I'm not too sure the confirmation of that, but apparently he is. So we might see him. I wouldn't mind seeing Timber again, seeing more of him because I've liked it. Declan Rice, we haven't really heard much about his injury and how long, and we've heard doubts maybe for game week 1. We've heard doubts for Community Shield potentially, and we've heard that he might be back against Monaco. So it'd be good to see him if he is ready.
Balogun as well. He's also picked up a notch. Have you heard anything or an update on him? Because I heard he probably won't be available. Would you like to see him?
I'd like to see Balogun, but I think the decisions have been made already. I think from the first 3-4 games of pre-season, you can see that Eddie's been favoured, and even that favour hasn't worked that well for him because I feel like both are probably on the chopping block and after the last 3-4 games more so than one or the other. So yeah, it would have been nice to see a bit more of Balogun. When he did get his chance, he missed an open goal or 2, and that was unfortunate because I think if he banged one of those in, then we might have seen some more of him in the next games. It is what it is. I'm not too sure how true the injury is. Maybe it's just keeping him fresh for the next club he's going to be at.
Do you agree with what James was saying? Because obviously they got Yassin Ben Yedder as well. I think he's quite a good player. I've seen him many times before he plays in France. I think he's quite a good player. Do you think what James has said is what they're going to do is play a strong team for the first 60 minutes, then maybe make wholesale changes? Or do you think Arteta's going to kind of go with the team that we're going to look to see maybe start the Premier League? Or do you think, it's all focused on Community Shield? This might be a run out for some players we didn't get to see too much of.
I think James, is pretty much aligned with what I'm thinking. I'd expect us to go strong, but I look at the Community Shield as the last pre-season game if you're in it.
Yeah.
I look at it as that's the one you go full strength in. You give the Premier League an idea of what you're going with. You give the fans an idea of what you're going with, and then you move into Forest with the exact starting lineup that you did at Man City. Fingers crossed that there's no injuries. So this one, I'd expect maybe some, changes, strong changes.
Yeah.
If Rice is ready, I'd love to see Partey Rice, Odegaard. I'd love to see that.
Same.
He mentioned that that's a possibility. I think he does favour Rice, Odegaard, Havertz. I think that's the future midfield for him. But he's mentioned that he can play Partey Rice. So what better game to trial it in this one or potentially Man City?
What would you think he's going to go to trial that potentially? Would you say the best game to do that is Wednesday? Or would you say, the Community Shield? Because for me, that seems like on paper the strongest midfield 3. That seems like what all of us want to see. Do you think it'll be worthy risking it on Wednesday, or would you say on Sunday, or do you think we're not going to see it at all?
Okay, I'm trying to think. When you try to predict what happens with these 11s, you also got to think about the rest of the squad and how minutes come for other players. So my prediction is he will start. Okay, I think he'll start Odegaard, Partey and Havertz because that's what worked against Barcelona. I think he'll give Rice maybe 20 minutes alongside Partey in the second half, so Havertz might come off, and then Jorginho will come off because I don't think he'll give Partey the full 90.
Okay.
Something like that. I don't know. I mean, but you could convince me any other way that he might get those combinations in some way, shape, or form on the pitch. I'm with Turkish. The reason I want to see Rice in that Xhaka role is because we saw Arsenal do so well last year playing this way. I'm not saying we should reinvent ourselves. I've actually been saying the opposite, that we do need to find other ways to play. But let's also know that we can revert to what we did last year if we have to. We haven't seen that yet. Now, part of that is to do with the fact that Zinchenko's been injured. But I just want to know that if we need to revert to last year and get back to those levels, we can. Arteta isn't trying to change things up because he wasn't happy with last year. He's trying to change things up because A, you get found out, but B, because as good as we were last year, it wasn't enough to beat City. So, yeah, it's a chance to experiment, but also getting Rice in that 8 is a part of experimenting as well.
Okay. Yeah, no, listen, we're going to end obviously on score predictions, spring break, James. But before we do wrap up, I know we're joking about the Emirates Cup. I'm actually very much excited for this game on Wednesday. I'm
excited for the game.
Because this is the first game.
He's excited about it quite a bit. You print t-shirts.
Oh, here we go. But come on, the boys are back at the Emirates, back at the home ground. So we're excited.
It's not like we was there together.
I know. It's back being at home in front of the home fans. Like, I'm excited for it. And I know, we're having a bit of a joke, but it's not like, the MLS All-Star game where there's a penalty shootout, crossbar challenge and all that after. It's a proper, I'm excited for this.
You know what I do like about it?
A skills challenge.
You know what I do like about it? I like that we don't come into the first game at the Emirates cold.
Yeah.
That we will have played a game here. It's kind of like, oh yeah, it sounds silly, but like, you come back, oh yeah, I remember what it's like. I remember the pitch. I remember the fans. All that. And you've had 90 minutes under your belt. You've remembered. You got back into the field of scoring goals here. If you score them, we hope we do. What we want is what happened against Sevilla last year. We battered them.
Yeah.
And then it just set a nice momentum, a nice tone. We're back in England. Yeah, we're back at home. We're playing our thing. So yeah, we just want them to go get a really comfortable win here. And whatever Arteta tries and plays with, it works. That's all we want out of this.
I understand. Let's end then with your score prediction. Then James, you obviously said last year obviously smacked Seville 6-0. So what are you expecting for this game?
I know nothing of Monaco, everyone. I know nothing. So I'll just go for a 4-1 because I think we looked really potent against Barcelona. And one thing I think I will say as well is interesting to see what he does with Trossard and Martinelli in this, because both just feel a little undroppable to me.
Does it matter as much for this game, or is it more the Community Shield game that?
I just think if he goes full strength and has picked one over the other, then that tells you where his thinking is right now. And I think either player would feel disappointed to not be involved. But yeah, I'll go 4-1 based off very little. We haven't looked good enough defensively. Not that the quality isn't there in personnel, just too many individual errors and lapses of concentration. I actually think we can be a very good defensive side. So yeah, 4-1.
Okay, take your score prediction.
I'm going to say 4-1. I'd say 5-1. Park it. Rather than go with James and make it different.
Let's mix up. All right, cool.
We don't want any shots. We played Lyon here in the Emirates Cup. They beat us 2-1. We just signed Pepe. We just signed Ceballos and all this, and I don't think they played, to be fair, but we lost that game. And then I think we had two pretty average performances in the opening games that second Emery season, and then everything went to pot. You just win your game, score goals, build momentum, have that confidence going into the league season. I agree. Ultimately, the results don't really matter, but you want that confidence flowing through the team.
Yeah, I'm just going to score predictions about round up. Obviously, they're not the Monaco of old. I think they beat us 1-0 actually in the Emirates Cup in 2014, and in Champions League they beat us here as well. But obviously they're not that.
That was a dark.
That was a tie. Trust me, but they're not that Monaco. So it's a completely different Monaco to those days back in 2014-15. So I'm going to go with a 3-0 win to Arsenal. You made me really almost change that with, you're right, we did leak goals. I think when we was on tour a little bit, there was a bit of stoppiness, but I don't want to see us concede against them here on Wednesday. But that's my score prediction, 3-0. We got it from the rest of the guys. Big up everyone that's watched this video. Like the video if you like the video, and let us know your score predictions and thoughts ahead of this Wednesday's game in the Emirates Cup. 7-1 on the way?
Shop for AFTV merch at shop.aftv.co.uk. Subscribe to us on YouTube. Follow us on Instagram, Facebook, Twitter, TikTok, Snapchat, and Twitch. We've got content for every platform, so check it out.